Chapter 27. The Broadcast. While Doc and Freya gently guided the rescued kids from the cargo bay toward the med bay, Amara slipped away into the solitude of her private quarters. At her cramped, cluttered desk bolted to the bulkhead, Amara's fingers danced across her datapad. She wove together the last fragments of their digital bomb, her crisp exposé of Athelgard's schemes, Leon's decrypted flight logs, the chilling blueprints of the Umbrix black site, and the raw footage of Ellie, James, and Jade opening the gate. All of it fused into one tightly compressed data packet. This was no ordinary message. It was a manifesto designed to shatter the corporate syndicate from within. Amara adjusted the small black camera on her desk, pointing the lens directly at herself. She hit record, the tiny red light blinking to life, and stared into it with cold, uncompromising green eyes. She had a final message for the large corporations. "Know this," Amara said, her voice hard and steady. "We can take you down at any point, and if you continue down the same dark path as Athelgard, we will finish you. We will be watching you. You might think you are the power in this universe. You are not. We have a power you haven't reckoned with. You should consider the future of how you conduct your business. Know you are being watched, and not just by us. We have very powerful friends now. Perhaps it is time to think about improving life and caring about others, not just greed and profit." She leaned closer to the lens. "And don't even think about trying to find us." She stopped the recording and slipped it into the final broadcast file. The soft hiss of her cabin door broke her focus, drawing her gaze as Finn stepped inside. "I'm glad you're on my side," Finn said, grinning and leaning casually against the doorframe. The tense, hunted look he had worn since Echelon was finally gone, replaced by the weary, grounded calm of a spacer who had survived the storm. "You heard that then?" Amara asked, swiveling her chair around to face him. "Do you think it will be enough to keep them away?" "I hope so," Finn replied. Amara let out a slow breath. "How are they doing?" "Doc says they'll be all right." Finn smiled, a genuine warmth returning to his dark eyes. "No permanent physical damage. They're terrified, obviously, and they've been starved of actual nutrients. But after some time in the sun, a few of Jake's barbecues, and some decent food, they'll recover." Before Amara could reply, 3 small figures slipped past Finn and into her cabin. Ellie, James, and Jade stood shoulder to shoulder, looking incredibly fragile yet fiercely determined in their oversized spacer clothes. "Is it ready?" Ellie asked, looking at the glowing datapad. "Yes," Amara replied, turning her chair back to face them. She studied their pale faces, a flicker of concern crossing her features. "Are you 3 ready? You just opened 3 gates back to back. I don't want to push you too hard." "We are fine," James assured her, his voice steady. "We are not as tired as we would have been without the help of the angels." Jade nodded in agreement. "It didn't hurt at all." Amara glanced at Finn, who gave a small, reassuring shrug. Whatever horrors Athelgard had imposed, those rules no longer bound these children. "All right then," Amara said, standing up and grabbing the datapad. A smile spread across her face. "Let's go and broadcast the end of Athelgard." They made their way down the companionway to the secondary cargo bay, where the amplifier still hummed on the deck plating, violet cables pulsing softly. Tess sat cross-legged beside the machine, double-checking the connection to the ship's primary comms array. She glanced up as Amara and the kids approached. "Comms are synced," Tess reported, standing up and brushing off her trousers. I have the broadcast loop queued and ready on the secondary console. Whenever you open the gates, I hit the switch, and the data floods through the apertures. Perfect, Amara said, passing Tess the datapad with the manifesto. She turned to Ellie, James, and Jade. You know the targets? Ellie nodded and stepped up to the heavy brass chair with her friends. Every major planetary comms hub we can reach. We only need to open tiny windows, not big gates. 22 in all. The three children ignored the chair. They no longer needed the harsh isolation of the brass hood. Instead, they stood in a circle before the humming machine and joined hands. Tess, Ellie said softly, closing her eyes. Power. Tess eased the digital control upward. The amplifier whined, flooding the room with raw fusion energy. The kids didn't flinch. They simply breathed in unison, their small faces serene. The air in the cargo bay did not rip apart. It shimmered and sparked. All around them, a few tiny, golden-edged portals blinked into existence, then multiplied in silence. No bigger than coins, they hovered like a swarm of glowing fireflies, bathing the dark hold in warm, starlit light. Gates are open and stable, Jake yelled over the comms from the flight deck, watching the tactical scanners light up with impossible anomalies across the entire sector. You are officially broadcasting into the living rooms of every corporate executive from Draven to the Outer Rim. Hit it, Tess, Amara commanded. Tess tapped the datapad, unleashing information that would ripple through the galaxies like a virus and spell the end of Athelgard.